get rid of Obamacare as well as Dodd-Frank?
I would repeal Obamacare instantaneously and replace it with something much better, privately done. We get rid of the lines, the artificial lines around each state so that insurance companies can compete with each other. The insurance companies have made a fortune on Obamacare. I would get rid of Obamacare and replace it with something much better.
You've got a sweeping program here. Get rid of Obamacare, get rid of Dodd-Frank, vastly reduce taxes. That's a huge plateful. Could you get all of that lot done quickly?
I think so. I'm a leader. I've dealt with politicians all my life. I know how to get things done. Obamacare, by the way, just so you know, is a huge generator of tremendous loss for this country. Not only is it terrible where, I don't know if you've seen over the last couple of weeks, people are leaving Obamacare. You have 40%, 50%, 55% increases in premiums. People are leaving Obamacare. It's a disaster. Obamacare is a disaster. And people have just given up, so much so that they don't talk about it that much. But Obamacare really kicks in 16. You talk about deficits. Obamacare, actually, from a country standpoint, has to be gotten rid of. And you know what? It's no good for the people that have it either.
Well, we think of you as a business mogul, very successful business guy, very successful entertainer. But now you're a politician. You are into the world of politics. And if things go well for you, if things go well for you, you've got another 9 years of this.
Right.
You feel comfortable in a politician's skin? Because you've got to do politics.
It's actually a very interesting question, because I've been, for 3 months, I've been a politician, and I never thought I'd be a politician, but I just got so sick and tired with what's going on, and you report on it really well all the time, and you see what's happening, Stuart, and things that are so simple, like inversion, corporate inversion, like bringing the money back and they can't bring it back.
But that's the problem,
by the way, you know what's happening? You know what's happening? Stuart, it is simple. It's really simple, believe me. You know what's happening? Companies are leaving the United States with thousands of jobs in order to go get their money. That's what's actually happening.
But to change things, you've got to be a politician. You've got to play politics. You've got to deal with Congress. If you were sitting in the White House, you've got to compromise.
My whole life, Stuart, I've been dealing with politicians. I build all over the world. I deal with presidents. I deal with prime ministers. I deal with everybody. I deal with city councils. My whole life has been dealing with politicians and getting them to approve things. I get along with everybody. I get along with Democrats, with Republicans. I get along with everybody. And my whole life is that. I get things done. Look at Obama. He doesn't get anything done. You have Democrats that have been there for years. They've hardly ever met him. You got to you got to close the door and get things done without signing your executive orders all the time. That's the easy way out.
Well, you've been in politics for what, 3.5, 4 months? Are you having fun? Do you like it? Do you like
I do. I love, like, last night was incredible in South Carolina. Thousands of people, 8,000 people, so many people at my rallies, far more than anybody else. And there's such love in the room. I like it, and I love getting results. Today, as you saw, NBC came out with their poll. Wall Street Journal, I'm number one. CNN just came out with their major poll. I'm number one by a lot. The Boston Globe just came out with the poll in New Hampshire. I'm number one. When that happens, it's a lot easier to like it, Stuart. You do know that, right?
I do know that, sir. Yes,
much easier.
This is a financial program. I have to ask you, are you an investor? I know you're an investor in real estate. I understand that.
Yeah.
An investor in the Trump brand. I got it. Are you an investor in the stock market?
Okay, so what I did is years ago, about 2.5, 3 years ago, I looked and I was getting nothing in CDs. I think, my CDs, because I have a lot of cash, and I want to put my money in something where I get something where I'm not using it, and they're talking about less than 1/4% and even less than that. I said, whoa. So about 3 years ago, I'd actually send you a list of my stocks. About 3 years ago, I bought a lot of stock. First time in my life. I've never been a stock guy. I've never believed. I don't like to have other people running companies, okay, especially when they get paid $100 million to do it, okay? I don't like when I see a company where a guy gets $100 million and he sells ketchup. That is an easy thing to sell, okay? It's on every, I didn't name the ketchup, but it's on every table of every, you understand.
Are you going to tell us which
let me just say, I sold it all.
Ooh.
I sold it all in January. All of my stock I sold, almost all, but pretty much all of it. And I felt like a real genius because you know what happened. The market went way up. I sold it all. I'd give you a list. I actually had to file it with the FEC, or I think I filed it, but I'd give you a list. But I bought, I think, 54 stocks, or I bought 52 stocks and 48 went up. And I made money with them. I felt very good. I feel like a great investor now. See?
What have you done with the money? Where is the money?
Now it's still getting almost no money in CDs.
So you're in cash.
You know what I did? I sold it in January. And the reason I did is I have so little confidence in our government. That's why I sold it.
Because you don't have confidence in the government?
Because I don't have confidence in our government. The people running our government, I don't have confidence in them. And that's why I sold the stock.
Do you own any gold? A lot of people run for covering gold.
Well, I haven't really, but, it's something that I used to look at very strongly, but somehow I guess we are off the gold standard for keeps, and it looks like we don't go back. But gold used to be something I used to like, but I have not bought gold now.
I got to ask this last one. What do you got against tattoos?
Well, I have nothing against it, and frankly, it's more and more, so I'm not going to fight it. I mean, I personally don't know why somebody would do that, but I also understand. I have some friends that are great people and very smart people, and they love the tattoo thing,
Would you hire someone who had a visible tattoo?
I think probably I would. I'm going to be very nice when I say that. It's a very interesting. Where do you come up with that question? I'm curious. Did you hear that about me or something?
No, you and I have spoken before, and I think the last time I told you that if any of my children, and I've got 6 kids, if any of them gets a tattoo, they're out of the will. And you said yes. I agree with you, Stuart.
Let me put it very nicely. I wouldn't be thrilled. Okay, I wouldn't be thrilled if my kids. I have 5. If my kids came back home with a big, fat, beautiful tattoo, I wouldn't be exactly thrilled. But you know what, Stuart? You're fighting against upward current because I have never seen anything like it. You look now; everybody's got tattoos. I don't get it, and many of them. The sad thing is, many of them are put on by people that have no artistic ability whatsoever.
I got to ask another last one. Do you ever imagine yourself walking into the Oval Office and sitting at that desk right there? Do you?
Well, maybe I'm starting to imagine it, but I don't even like to think about it. I just like to get things done, and right now I have the Republicans. It started off with 17, now 2 have dropped out, but it started off with 17, and I'm leading the pack by a lot, actually. And, I think that assuming Hillary gets it, she's had a terrible record as Secretary of State. I think we'll win that, and we'll make our country great again, Stuart.
Well, sir, you've been with us for 20 minutes, and time really flew by, and we thank you very much for being on the show. Thanks,
It was my honor, really my honor. Thank you, Stuart.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you.